Welcome to Bedtime Myths and Mysteries, the channel where real-world legends, myths, and chilling encounters come alive. Tonight, we step into the shadows of urban streets, into the corners of sleepless nights, and into the unnerving presence of a figure who defies explanation. The Smiling Man. Imagine walking home late at night. The streets are quiet, the air still. You notice someone ahead, moving strangely. A figure, tall, lanky, unnervingly human, yet something about him feels wrong. And then you notice his grin, impossibly wide, stretching unnaturally across his pale face. His smile is the last thing you see before fear takes hold. The first accounts of the Smiling Man didn't appear in newspapers or folklore books. They emerged from personal testimonies, forums, and quiet corners of the internet, where people dared to share experiences that left them shaken to their core. Many describe him as unnaturally tall, with limbs that seem longer than they should be, moving with a jerky, almost puppet-like gait. His clothing is often described as formal, a suit, a tie, incongruously neat in an otherwise empty street, and always the smile. One witness, a man walking home late in a city suburb, noticed the figure pacing on a deserted sidewalk. As he approached, the figure's movements became more erratic, more unnatural, until the man realized the Smiling Man was mimicking his steps, matching him stride for stride, never speaking, never blinking. Another account came from a woman jogging through a park at night. She sensed movement behind her, turned, and froze. The Smiling Man stood on the path, grinning, his limbs bending at odd angles. She fled, but when she looked back, he had vanished, only for the sound of distant, deliberate footsteps to echo behind her for several minutes. It's the mimicry, the unnatural movements, and the smile that make encounters with the Smiling Man unforgettable and deeply disturbing. Some psychologists suggest the Smiling Man is a manifestation of our own primal fears. Humans are wired to detect threats in unfamiliar faces, to notice subtle signs of danger in the dark. The grin of the Smiling Man is inherently unsettling because it violates the expected patterns of human expression. A smile should comfort, not threaten, yet here it terrifies. Sleep-deprived individuals, or those walking alone at night, report heightened sensitivity to shapes and shadows. In this vulnerable state, the mind can amplify minor visual stimuli into something monstrous. Some argue that the Smiling Man is a modern iteration of folklore's night spirits, shaped by urban landscapes instead of forests and castles. Yet, the consistency across independent accounts challenges the purely psychological explanation. Witnesses from different cities, countries even, describe strikingly similar figures. The same tall frame, the same jerky movements, and most horrifying of all, the same smile. Though the Smiling Man is a contemporary legend, folklore around the world has long told of tall, uncanny figures who appear at night. In Japan, the teke-teke haunts train stations and empty streets, a mutilated figure that stalks its victims with supernatural speed. In Europe, the black shuck prowls rural roads, a ghostly dog whose glowing eyes foreshadow death. Even in Native American traditions, shadowy watchers were said to linger at the edge of settlements, observing silently, sometimes mimicking humans. The Smiling Man is different. His signature smile and human-like form set him apart, yet he shares a common theme: the unknown, watching, waiting, and interacting with those who wander alone. Perhaps He is the urban iteration of age-old night spirits, adapted to the modern world. Witnesses describe the smiling man's movements in disturbing detail. Sometimes he is pacing in small, deliberate steps, never hurrying. Other times, he lurches forward in short, jerky bursts, keeping perfect rhythm with the observer. His face never moves, his grin unchanging, as though time itself cannot alter his expression. There are reports of him pausing suddenly, tilting his head slightly, and staring directly with those empty, grinning eyes. Many describe a sense of time distortion. Minutes feel like hours. Footsteps echo strangely, and the figure can vanish and reappear with impossible speed. This manipulation of perception is central to the fear. Even after the encounter ends, witnesses report lingering unease, paranoia, and sleepless nights. Some hear footsteps behind them weeks later, or glimpse shadows in the corner of their vision. The smiling man leaves a psychological footprint, even if he is never seen again. Case 1. A man walking home from work noticed the figure pacing under a street lamp. He paused, fearing the smiling man might approach, and felt compelled to run. Yet, the figure mimicked him, grinning wider as he fled. He later realized the footsteps behind him had stopped, but the terror lingered. Case 2. A college student jogging at 2 a.m. reported the smiling man on the path ahead. He froze, then turned to confront the figure, only for it to vanish entirely. A faint echo of laughter, soft and hollow, carried across the trees. Case 3. In a rural area, a man saw a smiling man near an abandoned bus stop. Unlike urban encounters, this figure was silent, unmoving, yet its presence felt suffocating. The witness reported panic attacks for months afterward. Psychological phenomena, sleep deprivation, urban isolation, and pattern seeking in darkness. Paranormal entity, a modern spectre, perhaps feeding on fear or existing in the liminal space between night and day. Mimicry, spirit, a trickster figure, echoing folklore across cultures, adapted to contemporary environments. Unknown, human threat. Some suggest a real person, mentally disturbed, performing these encounters, though the supernatural consistency across reports makes this unlikely. If you believe in the stories, or simply want to reduce fear, witnesses recommend: avoid walking alone at night in empty streets. Do not run blindly. Careful observation can reduce panic. Avoid staring directly at the figure. Let your peripheral vision detect movement. Maintain calm. Fear seems to amplify the smiling man's presence. Of course, these tips may comfort the rational mind, but the lingering question remains: is it really rational to confront something that defies explanation entirely? Survivors of encounters report nightmares featuring the same grin, feeling watched in familiar, well-lit spaces, shadows seeming to move unnaturally in empty rooms. Some even claim minor hallucinations in waking life, a testament to how deeply fear can imprint on human perception. The smiling man has become part of internet culture, shared in forums, creepypastas, and video testimonies. Yet unlike many urban legends, the story continues to grow, with real-world witnesses confirming experiences that match historical reports. Some urban explorers claim encounters in abandoned buildings, back alleys, and parks. Security camera footage occasionally captures fleeting glimpses, a distorted humanoid shape moving unnaturally, though nothing definitive. The legend now straddles the line between folklore and reality, growing darker as more people encounter him. The smiling man reminds us that fear can be as real as daylight, that unseen forces may linger in the edges of our vision, and that the night itself can be alive with entities beyond understanding. So next time you walk home late, or hear footsteps echo behind you in an empty street, remember, some grins are not meant to comfort. Thank you for joining us tonight on Bedtime Myths and Mysteries. If you enjoy wandering into the shadows, uncovering stories that blur fact and folklore, subscribe and click the bell to never miss a tale. And let me know in the comments, have you ever seen a figure smiling in the dark?